I go straight to my parents and I tell them, I said, you know what, promise is the promise, right? I kept my promise to Allah, you know, in my capacity, and you're obviously going to keep your promise. And they're like, no. no, that's not going to happen. Like, you know, you were, this fad of Islam was supposed to dissipate by now. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's been like 2 years. You should have, like, this Islam thing should have been out of your system by now. So, like, no, you're not going anywhere. Like, you know, you need to go get a job. Go get a job and then go get married and settle down. And I'm like, no, I really want to go. They're like, well, get a job and then we'll talk. I'm just like, come on, this is not fair, you know?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, fine. I got no money now. So I lost all the stock market, remember? So never got, since that margin call came in, the margin from my father was cut off as well. So all that, because he knew what was happening, right? So once he found out I was running away, all my accounts are completely cut, right? So I have zero money.
Yeah.
I'm completely dependent on parents now. Whatever little amount of independence or trust they had in me was completely just
fizzled.
Yeah, pulled out from under me. So now I'm done. I have no money. Graduated. Parents paid for tuition, so I don't have loans, which is good. You know, most people today have like loans and stuff. Alhamdulillah. So I start applying, get a job. So I get a job, and I'm sitting there doing really good. You know, my mentality also has changed, right? So I'm like, you know, very punctual, very hardworking. Because I'm reading in these books that a Muslim is supposed to do all these things. So they're like, man, this guy's like star employee. You know, it's like to the point where my boss is telling me that like, you know, you need to just slow down in terms of working. Because this is a problem because you're working so fast. We don't have projects anymore to give you because you keep finishing them. So the next time I tell you that a project is supposed to take a week, it better not be done in one day.
Did you work for the government or something?
No, I work for a
Silicon Valley would love you today.
Oh, yeah,
I know,
what is going on?
Exactly. So I'm working for a tech company. It's like a company called Aqueduct. And, you know, they're telling me like, okay, you know, we brought you in this position. You're doing great, but you need to slow down. You need to slow down because it's making us
look so serious.
Bad.
Chill.
You're done. And it's like, you need to chill out. I'm like, all right, fine. So after a few months, I'm making, you know, pretty decent money and everything. I'm living at home. So all the money is going into my account. And then as soon as I just have just enough, like 3 months or something, I'm like, you know what? I have to come and tell my parents. I'm like, you know what? Do you want me to go? You want to send me to India now? They're like, no, keep working. I'm like, well, now you can't stop me because now I just reached a threshold where I have enough money to go and pay myself. I can go on my own and I'll figure out the rest later. They're like, oh, this is a big problem now, right? Like this guy is actually financially independent now. He's got enough money and he's really gonna do it. So what can we do? Like the last you know, arrow in their quiver or the last thing in their arsenal is, okay, I tell you what, there's this dream you've always had. You've had that Ferrari Testarossa poster on your wall when you were a kid. Do you remember that car? I'm like, yes, I remember that car. I said, we know you like that car, right? I said, yes, I like that car. I said, if you don't go, we're going to go to the dealership and we're going to buy you that Ferrari.
Whoa.
Don't go.
A Ferrari,
right? So, and my parents are very well off, you know.
MashaAllah.
So, alhamdulillah. So, and because just think about their mentality. They're so afraid of what can happen to me.
Here is dunya.
Right? This is dunya, but again, in retrospect,
they're giving it to you.
In retrospect,
they're afraid of what
they're afraid.
Yeah.
In retrospect, they're afraid.
That's how, and that's sad because that's how afraid they are.
That's how scared they are, right?
You know,
in a way, actually, they had some legitimate concerns. Okay, like again, they're coming from Pakistan technically. Even though my dad was born in India, they don't know anyone in India. Right, so if I would have chosen Pakistan, maybe they would have been a little bit more comfortable, perhaps.
Yeah.
Pre 9/11, especially, right? But this is post 9/11, anyways.
Yeah.
So they would be a little bit more comfortable. But this is India. They don't know a single person in the whole country. There's no connection to this land at all. So a foreign country, their perception of madrasas are already not good perception.
Maybe the perception of India itself is not.
Perception of India against Muslims is a problem in and of itself.
Yeah.
You got this Orange County kid. How the heck is he gonna live in India? So
he couldn't take the pooping hole in San Diego.
Exactly.
He's not gonna.
He didn't want the shower on the hole in the wall toilet. This guy's gonna live in India.
Oh God.
And then he's an American on top of that, right? So you walk around with an American passport. And he's going to be spotted immediately. Now, I don't understand these things until I get there. Like, people can see you from a mile away. I don't get that, but they know that. They're like, they will tell that you're an American from a mile away. And I'm just like, I don't know why that would be. So they have a legitimate concern. In retrospect, I understand their concern. So if some kids are like, yeah, my parents are doing the same thing. I'm like, you know what? They have some legitimacy in what they're saying, you know. So, but anyway, so I'm like adamant. I'm like, no, this is the place. This is the only school that I think is going to have the Imam Ghazali type that I'm looking for. Like Sheikh Abul Hassan Nadwi is going to be my teacher or something like that. Based upon what I've read on their website, based upon the books that I read from him, based upon some other books. So we go and we visited the school and this and that. My dad went with me, and he saw the people are kind of nice and things are comfortable. So I tell him, I said, I am going. So their last option was, look here, I'm going to buy you this dunya and don't go. You can still go to a local Islamic school here. We're not going to stop you. But you don't go over there, and you get this car and you enjoy, and you can drive up, and they're like, once you become an imam, you're gonna be the coolest imam. You're gonna drive up in a Ferrari, and you'll be like the Ferrari.
Imam Ferrari.
You'll be the Ferrari imam, right? Like, don't you want that? And then like some of my other friends are like, yeah, dude, that would be really cool, man. So I'm just like, I'm like, that doesn't fulfill what I'm trying to get, right? Because I'm not finding here what I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, mom, dad, it's not gonna happen. I'm going, whether you like it or not. So I make a decision. I tell them I'm going. So all of a sudden they back off and they're like, okay, you know what? Since you're going, you know what? We actually are supporting you. So they wanted to they switched their position. They're like, yeah, we will pay your ticket and everything like that. So in the end, they end up supporting me like right before I'm leaving. And they're like, yeah, we don't really like what you're doing, but if this is what you want, you do it. So I end up in India.
MashaAllah.